All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. People are starting to roll in. So, Mr. Jairus Nelson, how you doing, bud? Those of you that are jumping in on YouTube, let us know who's here. Raymond Clark, welcome. So, good evening, everybody. Happy Wapiti Wednesday. Welcome to live Q&A. I am Michael Batiste from the Elk Calling Academy. So, seeing a lot of Bugle Me This. How you doing, Jerry Dixon? Welcome. Raymond Clark, hello. So, seeing a lot of people that are regulars. If this is your first time joining us tonight, welcome to Wapiti Wednesday live Q&A. Mr. Jeff Ambrewster, hello. Tea Time Turf, Josh from Coeur d'Alene, welcome. So, anyways, if this is your first time, welcome to Wapiti Wednesday Q&A. Kind of what we do is each Wednesday we come on, we kind of start with a topic, and then we also answer your questions as we go along. I try to answer the stuff as best I can. Some of the information I can't because of the students that actually pay for the lessons within Elk Calling Academy. Jay Colley, how you doing, bud? So thank you. Yeah, that speed goat hunt was a lot of fun. In fact, it was a rifle hunt. I don't do a ton of rifle hunting. I actually got my wife and daughter a 7mm 08 a couple of years ago, and I took that up on the hunt. And I discovered that the 6 to 9 bipod that I had on it is not conducive when you're shooting in CRP and tall grasses. So I just picked up a 13.5 by 27 today and just ordered a muzzle brake. So we're gonna kind of build up that 7mm 08. So Brian, hello, welcome. Alex, how you doing, bud? Mr. Matt Lux, Bernie. Good looking bull behind you. Yeah, that's Pitchfork. Mr. Scott, Luke, welcome. So, okay, so tonight we're going to kind of talk a little bit about elk behavior, elk habits, and also off-season preparation. So these are kind of some of the questions that I've had here within the last few days, and so the question specifically about how to get in shape was, how does somebody that doesn't have a gym membership or a ton of equipment at home really get into shape for elk season? So we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit tonight, along with kind of elk behavior. The question that I was asked on the elk behavior was kind of, what time during the day do they go to bed and that kind of stuff. And really, that's a difficult question to answer because there are so many variables contained within that. But we'll kind of talk about their behaviors, their habits, and then kind of talk about factors that can adjust those a little bit. So just like always, guys, if you have questions, whether you're tuning in on YouTube or tuning in on Facebook, feel free to answer your questions. And, I'll try to get through those just like always. So Jeff Anderson, welcome, bud. So okay, here we go. Let's jump into it. So elk behavior. So, Matt, damn it, dinner's ready. Hey, eat some for me too, bud. So, elk behavior. So really, what are the habits of elk? So, I mean, basically it's, all throughout the year, it's feed to survive. So they are grazers, they are ungulates, they're eating on grasses and forbs and they're just grazing. They basically graze. They have a stomach system that's pretty similar to a, domestic cattle. So once that stomach fills up, they lay down, they chew their cud, they empty the contents of that stomach, and then they basically just, are hungry again, and they're back up and feeding. So most of the time they feed at night. So, but they, like I said, it only takes about 3.5, 4 hours for them to go through the contents that are in their stomach. So during the day, depending on what time they bedded down, they're generally going to get up and they're going to move around a little bit. They're going to get some water. They're going to kind of feed a little bit. So it definitely is something that they're constantly doing throughout the day. Now, the question that really came in, what time do they go to bed? Well, there's a lot of factors that can, GC calls. I think I'm on and ready, coach, but I'm here almost on time. Freddie, yes, you are. So, and in fact, I have another announcement since Freddie just got in here. So, anyways, feeding, they typically feed at night. So what time do they go to bed? There's a lot of factors on that. It could be temp. It could be how bright the night was, what type of mindset they're in, what's going on, whether we're, in any of the rut phases or just, throughout the year. So, it kind of varies throughout the year. Now I know specifically the question is targeted at hunting season. So we'll kind of focus on that. So as I mentioned, they're feeding during the night. At the start of archery season, they're in pre-rut phase. They're establishing their pecking order. They really haven't really started looking for cows. Some of them maybe have started gathering up cows, but it's a little warmer. So they are going to bed a little sooner, meaning they're working into that dark timber or that dark side of the mountain where temperatures are cooler. They may roll onto that dark side and continue to feed a little bit longer before they actually do lay down and bed down and work on the contents of the stomach. Now, also things that can affect it is how dark is the night. So, because during the night, it's not like they're on their feet eating all night long. They're doing the same thing at night. So, they're eating for a little while and they're laying down and they're working on the contents of that stomach, and then they're getting back up and they're eating again. But as the rut progresses and you have those bright nights, those large moon nights, their activity increases, their rutting activity increases, their pre-rut activity increases. So especially during that first part of the year, because since it is so much warmer during the day and we have those cool nights, they're going to be a lot more active at night, gathering up cows and establishing their pecking order. And that's why I've said it a lot, where night bugling is really, really effective, because they are that active in the dark. Now, because there's so much more activity during those bright nights, they do go to bed earlier, which sometimes can be, just an hour after first light or right at first light. But remember that 3.5 to 4 hour rule, guys. As soon as they've worked out the contents of that stomach, they're going to be hungry again. They're going to get up. So if they're bedding down at 8:30, what do you think's happening about noon or 12:30 or 1? They're back up on their feet. So this is why I always say, leave camp in the dark, come back in the dark. Spend as much time on the mountainside as you can. And when you guys, a couple of you have asked me to do a pack dump to show you everything that I carry in my pack. And when I show you that, it'll make a lot more sense why it's easy to spend that amount of time on the mountainside. So now that's really, their habits. It's feed at night. Then, as they're heading to bed, they're getting water, and then they're going to bed, and near their bed, they've got wallows that they can cool their temps down. They've got water. So what time they actually go to bed, that can adjust, throughout the year, or throughout the season. They could be going to bed earlier. They could be going to bed later. Now, as the rut progresses and you start getting into the peak rut, you have a lot more activity. You have cows that are coming into cycle. You've got bulls that are running around, really checking cows. So are they really bedded down? I mean, they're still working on the contents, but since that bull is so active, checking cows to see who's in cycle, protecting those cows from other bulls, he really doesn't get that full stomach. So he is constantly grazing. That's why at the end of the season, they have lost so much weight, and they are just so tired. So Bugle me this. I have a degree in exercise physiology. Any questions on training, send me a message. Okay, cool. Appreciate that. Billy Thompson here, first time. Welcome, welcome. Benito. Hey, Josh, I used to live in Rathdrum when I was a kid in the early 80s. So, okay, we had a couple of others pop in here. Oh, yeah, since I jumped back up here to GC calls. Okay, you guys have heard me talk about the Game Changer. Okay. The owner of Game Changer, Freddie, sent me a message just a little while ago and said he wanted to pop a Game Changer in the mail to add to the Native by Carlton giveaway, but I've decided I'm not going to include it in that giveaway. As soon as we conclude that giveaway next week, we're going to do a giveaway for Game Changer by itself. So once we get through the Native by Carlton, I've also had Hot on the Trail scents kind of step up, and they want, so maybe the next one we'll do a combination of Game Changer and Hot on the Trail scents for you guys. So there you go. There's another giveaway coming up. So stay tuned. Next week when we give the Native by Carlton one away, I'll turn around and I'll post a video with the next giveaway and what to do. Marty Bland, temps affect them too, huh? Yes, they do. Temps definitely affect elk behavior and their habits. So, you know, they really, elk are built for colder weather. So as it's hot and as it's warmer, they really have to control that temperature. They cannot get overheated. They get overheated, stroke, brain aneurysm. I mean, serious things can happen. So, what about a contest for that hoodie you're wearing? If you guys want to get one of these, you can actually get them from Archery Bum Clothing. I'll tell you this, they're going to run you about $125. But if you do go to Archery Bum, you choose this. It is a signature series line. You can actually get it with the Elk Calling Academy logo on the back if you want. But like I said, it's going to run you about $125, $130. How much snow cover on feed will start to push them down? Rob, that's a great question. So as long as they have access, meaning they can still paw through the snow and they don't have to paw through 3-4 feet of snow. But as long as they can paw and get through that food readily, they'll stay up there until it gets too deep that they'll just kind of start pushing down the mountain. Now, if you get a snow and the temps warm up and then it freezes again and you get that hard crust on the top, that's really hard for them to get through. That's going to be another thing that's going to push them down on the mountain. Also, if you get consecutive days of that snow just piling up, that's going to push them down. So it's not like I can sit there and say it's 6 inches, 12 inches, 18 inches, 24 inches. Again, there's variables, but usually it is a decent amount of snow that they have to work pretty hard to get to that feed. The other thing that happens is with that feed, because of the snow, it stops the regeneration and stops the growth of that food. That food goes dormant. So they kind of start moving out once that starts happening. Jeff, have you found that cow calls are better during the early hunts when bulls are looking to gather cows? Not necessarily. I mean, pay attention to what the bull's giving you. I mean, ultimately, I like to use my cow sounds to set up my bugles. But if I've got a bull that's not showing me any signs that he's not really into bugles, then I'm going to give him what he wants. So you can't just go out there and take a square peg and try to fit it in a round hole. It's just not going to work. There's not one cure-all situation or approach for every single elk. Each elk is different. Their mindset's different. Heck, that elk's mindset could be different from day to day. How you approached him and worked him yesterday may not be the same that you work him today. Pay attention. And this is why in the lessons in the Elk Calling Academy, we really teach the different vocalizations, the different cow vocalizations, the different bull vocalizations, so that you can recognize what his mindset is. How is he responding to your calling? What he likes, what he doesn't like. That's the key there. Recognizing his temperature, recognizing his mindset, and that's going to help you maximize the number of bulls that you call in. So now, sure, you could take that one approach and you can hike and hike and you can encounter a lot of bulls, a lot of bulls, a lot of bulls, but you're going to have to encounter a lot of bulls until you find the one that's in that mindset that's going to fit in that groove that you're kind of calling in. So, I mean, really, that's the biggest thing when we're calling, guys, is we're trying to portray ourselves as elk. We're trying to tell a story. We're trying to make them believe that we're an elk. But the biggest thing is, what are you telling that bull? What type of message are you trying to send to him? That's why it's so important to recognize what they're saying to you, what the situation is, what's going on. So Jeff, kind of yes and no to answer your question. Sometimes cow calls are better, sometimes not. Because remember during that early time, they're also establishing their pecking order. So if he thinks that you're a dominant bull, maybe he's in that mindset to fight because he wants to establish himself as a dominant bull. But yet on the flip side, if he's not in the mindset to fight, you acting like a real dominant bull is just going to push him off. All right. Tony, how you doing? Marty Bland, heard bugles mostly at night when we were early September in Colorado. Yeah, that early season, they are really active at night. Mr. Jonathan Alexander, how you doing, brother? Marty Bland, just about all night long. Yeah, I've been there before where, we've had elk outside the tent just bugling all night long, and can't really say that hated it. Can't really say that I didn't sleep very well. I just laid there in the bag with a huge smile on my face. So Elk Team 6, love the name of that. Michael, our group took bull, cow, and black bear this year. That's awesome. Congratulations. Brady Russell, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Andy, what's up, buddy? GC, yes, sir, I'm in. Yes, thank you, GC calls. Have a native by Carlton on the way. Nice. Rob heading to New Mexico in 1 week from today to chase them. Rob, good luck on your hunt. Casey Gepford, welcome. Jeffrey Duncan, welcome. Matt Lux, that was a quick dinner, bud. Hey, Matt. Okay. The kids love that organic Idaho protein. Oh, Bill. Yeah, that organic Idaho protein is pretty fabulous. For those of you guys, Bill is the one that is the hunter that I met on the mountainside. Kind of talked about, he was hunting the same area that I was. I talked about, his hunt last week a little bit and the patience that he really showed. And I went back and read it. It actually took him 2.5 hours, guys. So 2.5 hours of just calling enough to keep that bull engaged until it got to the right situation that pushed him over the edge. So glad they're enjoying it. Called in a 6-point satellite bull that came in cow chirping, assuming because there were bigger bulls screaming around him. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. Bulls will do cow mews. Bulls will do mews, and cows will bugle. So the difference is when a cow does a bugle, it's not quite the same as a bull bugle. There is a little bit of difference on the ending of it. But when a bull does a mew, it's really, really tough to tell the difference if it's a bull mew or a cow mew. So, because you got to remember, when elk are born, that's the only vocalizations that they hear. They hear the mews, the chirps. They're around that for the first 3.5 years of their life. That's their vocalizations until, they come full circle around. So that mew is really the first sound that they actually learn. So, all right. Benito, I've seen guys cow call a bull to get them to stop before a shot and after the shot. Will this work during post and late hunts also? So Benito, the thing is on late hunts, you got to kind of understand, where they're at and what they're doing. The big bulls pretty much at this point have split off from the herds, have headed back up, and their main focus is just packing on weight so that they can survive the winter. The other herds that are kind of still banded together, they're eating, they're trying to pack on weight, but they're also kind of staging, getting ready for, their migration to their wintering grounds. So cow sounds can be effective during this later hunt. But the one thing I've said is use lost calf sounds. Play on the maternal instinct of the cows. If you sound like a young calf that's kind of in distress, that's going to play on that maternal instinct of those cows. Those cows are going to come. That whole group's going to come. And if there's some satellite bulls or bulls that are hanging in with that group, they're going to come too. I'm not sure whether you have a bull hunt or a cow hunt. The one thing I caution you on with late season, most of the time, it's rifle hunts. Just be safe about it, guys. Be out in the open. Be where people can see you. Have the orange. So be seen. Just protect yourself and be safe. So, all right, Tim Miller, can you still get responses to locates in late October? Sure, you can. I mean, they locate all year long. That's how bulls stay in contact with each other. Is it going to be, I mean, aggressive type locates, or it may not be, and you may not get a ton of locates. You may only just hear one bull that just kind of cracks off, but it just depends on what your hunting approach is with the rifle, whether you're just trying to locate and then move over into a position where you can glass and ambush. Could be an effective tool. So, but yes, they still will. Larry Bennett, welcome. Lynn, welcome. Matt Lux, Speed Eater. So how much does a warmer temperature affect bulls in the rut? Warmer temps can actually affect them a lot. In fact, to the point where you see absolutely minimal activity during the daytime, but at night during the cooler temps, they're extremely active. So really the only daylight activity that you see is them transitioning from their feeding area to their bedding to their feeding. So is it normal for a bull to bark 6 or 7 times? It could. I mean, define normal. That's the tricky thing there. So, elk are, I mean, they're different from one bull to another. You may get one bull that never chuckles or only chuckles a couple of times, and you get another bull that may chuckle a dozen times in a row. So each one's different. It's just, and again, it's their mindset, it's the situation, what they're feeling. Typically a bull barking 6 or 7 times, there's something about the situation that he's not liking. But the tricky thing, if he's barking that many times, there's something about your setup or situation that has his interest. But on the flip side, there's also something that he's not comfortable with. It's, almost one of those things where the saying, I hate to see you go, but love to watch you leave. So same thing here. He's interested in what's going on, but yet he's not comfortable to kind of come in. So he's just demanding, barking that much, telling you, he's demanding for you to show yourself, to present yourself. So Jeremy, Michael, I never received my Hot Sense giveaway. Don't want to complain. Still love Wednesday night. Jeremy, let me look on that. I think I still have the tracking number around, so I will see what happened. If not, we can always get you another package out. That's not a problem. Larry, does free ranging cattle affect or drive elk out of an area? Yes and no. I mean, I've hunted some areas with a lot of cattle that didn't affect the elk at all. And I've hunted other areas that, those cattle kind of pushed the elk out for a little bit. I've talked about this in the past. Cattle are not as bad on elk as sheep are. Sheep seem to really overgraze and decimate an area, and that really definitely does push an elk out. But as far as the cattle, no, I've seen cattle and elk kind of coexist, and I've been on numerous hunts where have seen the elk right in there with the cattle. So they're pretty much used to it. Mr. Garrett Weaver, welcome. Heard my first bull bark this season. Show us the cow bugle. Clear your schedule, Michael. The wife and I are coming in hot and ready to learn everything in your Rolodex. Sweet. So we get to do a little bit of couples therapy, Andy, with you and your wife. I love it. Hey, Dallas, what's up? Have to keep up with Casey Gepford. First time with me. I was setting up camp. 6 point rolls into bugle several times, stretches stuff, staring side by side. I'm in jeans and t-shirts setting up tables in 10. He was 275 yards. Closest I can get was 175. How would you approach this? I had no coverage, didn't realize he had a herd down below until they busted me once he went down the draw. That's one of those things that I mean, if you're setting up camp and you've got a bull rolling in and he's bugling and this and that, it depends. Is the season open? Is it right before the season? A lot of times I might actually just sit there and listen, see where he goes, see what he does. So especially if everything's packed, if I'm just setting up camp, really getting everything put together to really maximize, that opportunity, I might actually have, rush it and not really give it the best approach, I guess you could say. So, I don't know. It's always one of those things that you could say, this is what I would do, but without actually being in the shoes and being there. I mean, I've had it happen before back in the backcountry when I've been 8 miles in and setting up a tent, but I was already in my camo. My bow was right there, had a bull crack off and just grab the bow and go after him. So it just kind of depends on where everything's packed up. So our hunt was September 7th through the 13th. Did you experience same quiet as we did in Colorado? Yeah, Elk Team 6. It was a rough year. We definitely had some pretty, I wouldn't call it quiet times because we still got into bugles almost every day we went out, but the volume of the bugles was certainly, a lot less. And there was definitely days where there wasn't a ton of bugling activity. It's almost like you really, really had to drag it out of them. So let's see. Dwayne, welcome. Okay, Andy's replying to Jay. Glenn, I finally found you live. Welcome, Glenn. Jeremy, isn't a bull bark a sign of frustration? No, not really, Mark. A bark is actually, I'm not comfortable with the situation. I want you to present yourself. I want you to prove to me that you're an elk. So more times than not, when a bull is frustrated, so, when a bull is frustrated, he'll kind of do kind of some huffs and kind of some grunts and it's kind of some chuckles here and there. So, but the bark itself is generally, I'm not comfortable here. So awesome stuff. Thank you, John. You bet. Last weekend of season in Oregon. That's a different call there then. So if you're towards the tail end of the season and that bull is bugling near camp, grab your stuff and go. So your window of opportunity is closing. Definitely take advantage of that. Thanks for taking time to teach what you know. Oh, it's my pleasure. Uh-oh. Puff Daddy is in the house. Greg Puffy, how you doing, brother? So, okay. Have you already hit on strategy for that? For the quiet? Yeah, we've Elk Team 6, if you actually go back, there were some videos that I did during September on Wapiti Wednesday Live Q&A where it kind of talked about some strategies if elk are quiet. So go back and kind of watch some of those and you'll definitely find the strategies on those. Okay, all the elk we ran into Southern Colorado were quiet, but as soon as we got calling, they were responsive and curious. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. So Jason, I kind of talked about that last week. Matching your surroundings, matching what the elk are doing. So, if those elk are bugling quiet, if those elk are, the cow sounds are quiet, don't be going out there with max volume trying to call a bull from the next county. So, Andy, what is Elk Team 6? Elk Team 6 is his name on YouTube. It's not like I don't know, maybe they are a crack outfit of elk hunters from Colorado. It's kind of a cool name. So, but that's his handle on YouTube. So, Dang it, Andy, you got me sidetracked of where I was at. So, matching your surroundings. So if you really hear that those elk are quiet, especially with their bugling, you do that same exact thing. Turn the volume down on your bugle, which means you're going to have to bugle more often as you're moving to locate, because your bugles aren't going to cover as much ground. But also notice where they're at. They're probably not out in I just got an email from an Elk Calling Academy student that just said success. So usually if they're really getting that quiet, they're hanging more in the heavier timber. So what are you doing? Are you doing what the elk are doing? Are you behaving like the elk are behaving? Or biggest question, how many of you really pay attention to what the elk are doing throughout the season and what their behavior is doing? That's the key there. Are you paying attention? And guys, I've talked about this in the past. This is where that spiral ring notebook really comes in handy. When you get back to camp and you're eating your dinner, pull out that notebook, put that date on the top of the page, write everything about the day, the moon phase, the temperature, the activity that you saw, the vocalizations that you heard, the behavior, the habits, what you did in response to that stuff, what responses the elk did to what you were doing and what you did. So that's the key, because what's going to happen is you start writing that journal every night. And then as soon as the elk season's done, you're in the winter. Now, whether you're sitting down at the table to eat a nice steak because you were successful and harvested an elk, or you're marinating that tag soup, but I can guarantee you pull out that spiral ring notebook and you start reading it, you're going to start to notice things. And especially if you do this for a period of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, think of all that information that you're getting about your area, about what the elk do in your hunting area, how they respond to hunting pressure, how they respond to predators. You start doing all this and you gather that mental Rolodex that Andy talked about wanting to tap into a while ago. So that's the key there, is really, really, yeah, Freddie, I know. Didn't we just talk about this the other day? So, but that's what I did when I started. When I really got passionate about elk hunting, that's what I started doing, was really writing that journal. I wanted to know. I wanted to learn as much as I could. I didn't have anybody to teach me. I just had my own experiences to learn from. So, Chris Rowe has a video of cow bugling. Yeah, he does. It's cow bugles, barks, and more, or something like that, I think, on YouTube. But you can actually go to YouTube and you can just type in cow bugle and you can find all kinds of videos of cows bugling. So, Shane, nothing to do with elk. How's hunting in November for buck archery? Shane, the late season archery hunt here in Idaho can be a great hunt. Biggest thing is you need weather. You need snow. In fact, I think I just had this conversation a couple of days ago with Garrett Weaver. So it can be a lot of fun. You can also have a lot of people in it too, with a lot of competition. So, okay. I experienced the same thing. Quiet till you got them rolling. Public land was packed. Yep. Don't forget to show your support and hit the like toggle. Hillbilly, I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys are new, if this is your first time tuning in, be sure, if you're on YouTube, be sure you hit the subscribe button and click the bell, so that way you're notified every time we're live or we upload another video. If you're on Facebook, be sure to like and follow the page, so that way you guys are notified as well. So really, this is all about you guys. I'm here for you guys. So, my biggest thing is helping shorten that learning curve so that you guys find success faster. I love hearing about all of your success. It takes me back to when, I first started. So, and that was 30 years ago, and still each year it's the same, with the anticipation, the excitement. And so, all right. I remember you mentioning earlier this year, I followed that advice. No tag soup for this guy. Jason, that's awesome. Awesome. Okay, Michael just sent an email with some pics from this year and a big thanks for all you do. Okay, perfect. So, all right, you guys are going nuts over on the Facebook page. I think some of you guys are having conversations with each other. So, okay, epic. There we go. Okay, after shooting my bow this year, either he or another dog that was with him barked at me 7 times over the next 20 minutes from just inside the timber. I'm assuming it was another elk, wondering why his buddy was laying down. Any thoughts? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Something happened. That bull wasn't sure what it was. So, he's basically just kind of barking, saying, kind of present yourself. What happened? What's going on? I'm uncomfortable with the situation. That's exactly what was going on. Rob, what are your thoughts on cow calling a bedded bull this time of year during rifle season? Is it a good tactic for solitary bulls postseason? Solitary bulls, not so much. But the other thing that I've been hearing is there's still some bulls that are out there ripping and bugling really hard right now. I know rifle season opened today for some hunts. Some others open the 25th and some into November. So there is still a little bit of rutting activity going on right now with reports that I have received. So it's not really, Rob, with the cow calling with a specific deal. It's more of kind of that curiosity play, that I've talked about, where you sit there and you just let off 2 or 3 soft cow calls. You wait 4 or 5 minutes. You let go with 2 or 3 more soft cow calls. You do that in 5-minute breaks. So cow sound, wait 4 or 5 minutes, do it again. Stay in that spot for 45 minutes to an hour. Curiosity, they're a herd animal. So they like being herded up. They're curious. They're going to come over to check you out. So they may not bugle back, but just be listening for twig snaps. I hate autocorrect. Me too. Jake, it's always so interesting listening to everything you talk about on here. I haven't been on here too much, but you do a great job. It's fun listening and learning. Jake, I appreciate that. And congratulations on your buck that you harvested today. That is absolutely awesome. Totally happy for you, bud. Sounds familiar. Okay. After shooting my bull this year, I ran into the timber. Over the next 20 minutes, I heard an elk bark 7 times. Oh, that's weird. Brad Cantrell, welcome, buddy. Andy, we have Michael Batiste and Elk Calling Academy to teach us. Thanks, brother. You bet. Jack Keithley, how you doing? Wow, that's weird. Shane, it keeps or Dwayne, it keeps throwing your message in here over and over again. You do classes at your house. I live in Boise. Shane, yes, I do. For people that are in the Boise area, classes are right here at my house. We meet face to face. So for those of you that are outside of the area, I know I've talked about this before. I use Zoom video conferencing. So we're still face to face. But the cool thing with you guys outside of the area, I actually record your session. Send you a copy of that recording. So I almost think you guys that live outside of the area have the advantage because you get the recorded copy. So actually, we are from Idaho, California, and Texas. We came up with the name this year. And don't forget weather conditions. Definitely must journal. Yes, absolutely. Weather conditions is a big part of that journal. That's what I was talking about. The date, temp, weather, moon phase, activity, hunting pressure, predator pressure. I mean, just put as much information down in that journal as you can about what you're seeing out there. It's just going to help you learn faster in the long run. Thanks for the knowledge, Larry. You are absolutely welcome. Oh, Andy replying. Okay. Bernie, you are awesome. Thanks for great info. Thanks for your help and willingness to share the information you've worked hard for. Rob, not a problem. So, good, bro. Just let you know, I paused my workout to watch you. Yeah. So, okay, let's jump into this because I know Jack is going through this next discussion right now, or the company. So I was asked, how do you prepare for elk season if you don't have a gym membership or you don't have a lot of equipment at home to work out? Here's the deal, guys. You don't have to have a lot of equipment. So earlier this year, we partnered with iHunt Fit. I don't know how many of you have actually gone over to look at iHunt Fit, but I strongly encourage that you go do it. iHunt Fit has programs designed for the gym or designed for the home. It is a 28-day program that they send you, and it's going to run you about $25. So less than $1 a day. But the exercises that they do, you never really repeat the same exercise. And Jack can attest to this, that it will flat out kick your rear end into the dirt. It will get you ready for season. Now, with their programs, with their plans, you go onto their website, you go to shop, you choose whether you want a home workout program or a gym-based workout program. You also choose your fitness level: beginner, intermediate, or advanced. It is not a cookie cutter program that they just send out. They actually get a little bit of information about you, and then they tailor that program and the exercises and the durations. But I will tell you, it is going to push you. It is going to test you. And I can guarantee that if you put in the effort in the off season, when season rolls around, you are going to have a much better hunting experience. Now, the cool thing about the home-based is you have a lot of plyometrics, you have a lot of body weight activities. You also use your pack for some exercises, and you'll be amazed. Take your pack, throw a little bit of weight. In fact, Honest Training, ONUS Training, makes bags. They're made right here in Idaho. You can put sand in them, you can put rocks in them, that you can create how heavy you want that bag to be. You take that Honest with 5 pounds of sand or 10 pounds of sand or whatever you want, you put that into your pack and you do some of these exercises. The first time, so the first program or the first 28-day cycle that they sent me was the home-based. And when I was reading through it, I was like, this isn't going to test me. Wrong. I found out very, very quick how wrong that was. But you also notice that your endurance actually increases. And that's what iHunt Fit is. It's a combination of strength and endurance, because that's what you need out hunting. It is your muscle endurance and your cardiovascular endurance that you need to be successful out there. iHunt Fit is a great program. This next one that I just started right now is a gym-based. If you want to add to it, you can get some resistance bands. There are options out there that you don't need to spend a ton of money to get into shape. But I strongly encourage you that if you are looking for a program, go check out iHunt Fit. I do not get anything free from Matt. I pay for my programs. I pay for everything. Our partnership is we just help promote each other's companies. And I only do this with companies that I strongly believe in. So there you go. That's how you get ready for season. So Brian Woods, okay, I'm heading out in the morning, leaving the bugle at home. Puff Daddy, good luck to you. Eric Hernandez, welcome. Hope to call a satellite in. And that is one approach right there that Greg touched on. So, the cow calling. So that routine that I talked about where you just do a couple of cow calls, that routine is more targeted at just calling in any elk, whether you want a cow or a spike or a raghorn. That's going to call in pretty much any elk. And you could get a big herd bull coming in on that. But most of the time, it's going to be your cows and your younger bulls. Your bugling is what's going to really work on more dominant bulls, but you got to use it the right way. Meaning you still got to gather that information. Is it September yet? No, we still got a long ways to go. So, all right, bro, see you Wednesday. I am whiskeyed out. Joke 4 a.m. comes early. Andy, good night, buddy. We'll see you guys next week. So, Jack, absolutely. Those big boys are done. They don't want to fight. No, they don't. And in fact, if any of the big boys are still hanging around with the cows, they're basically just looking for a straggler cow. So, and yes, Jack also brought it up that iHunt Fit also has meal plans as well. So if you're really looking for the full deal with workout programs and meal plans. I haven't done the meal plan side of it. I know Jack right now is doing the workout and the meal plan. He is documenting his journey. If you guys want more information, go to his Facebook page. It's Outdoor Hunting Addiction. He is documenting his workout, his journey, and all that, so you can follow along, find out a little bit more information about iHunt Fit. Or you can always go to their website, the iHunt Fit website, and just kind of look around. They do also have free videos there too that will give you some sample ideas. Those are kind of some of the samples that I have been sharing for Training Tip Tuesdays that I know I haven't done that the last few weeks. I need to get back on that. Hunting season kind of throws a wrench into things. Bernie, good night, buddy. All right. Got to use the giveaway 5 a.m. grab bag this year. Didn't kill, but had an awesome time and definitely used the grab bag. Perfect, Zach. Proud of you. Have a great night. Good night, Puffy. 326 days till September. So there you go. Elk Team 6. Is it September? No, 326 days. So, all right. What else? Yeah, but how do you train for altitude? I left Texas in best shape since I started elk hunting, and first climb I was sucking wind. You know, they do have those altitude training masks. I haven't used one personally. In fact, I think I was on Wish the other day or something, and one popped up, and I was joking with my wife. I was on there looking for a weighted vest for some additional, training opportunities, and I saw one of those, and I told her, man, should I pick one of those up? Should I try them? I ever used an altitude mask. If any of you guys on here, I know Shane just said get an altitude mask. If any of you guys have actually used an altitude mask, please chime in, help everybody else out. So we're all a big community. We're all here to help each other. So especially when it comes to training and fitness, I am not a training and fitness guru. Heck, I was still doing the same old type of workout routines I was doing when I was in my 20s. I'm now pushing 50. So it shows you how long some of that stuff was kind of outdated. So thanks, Shane, Ruth. I'll check into that. So, okay. There was something else that I was going to talk about tonight. Oh, kind of jumping back on the elk behavior and the habits. So some of the factors that can alter, their behavior and alter their habits a little bit. Weather can most certainly, if you got a storm front coming in or something like that, they're definitely going to alter the habit. Hunting pressure. So, I've talked about this a lot, guys. I don't hunt bedding areas because I like to keep the elk in their normal pattern as much as possible. Because if you go in and you blow that herd out of their bedding area, the chances of them coming back in there, it's going to be quite a while before they actually come back in. So try to keep them in their normal patterns as much as possible. But we are hunting public ground. Just because we don't go into that bedding area doesn't mean the next person doesn't come trapsing up the ridge, roll right around, and blow right through their bedding area. It happens. But if you're really doing a lot of studying of your area on maps and also boot on the grounds out there, those alternate areas where those elk get pushed to. So, okay, so we have weather, we have hunting pressure, predators. A lot of states now are in the age of the wolf, which wolves definitely do affect elk behavior big time. So now, how much do each of these really affect their behavior? Whether a lot of times it may just push them down into kind of some thicker trees, places they can get, sealed and blocked from the weather. They can be protected. And then as soon as that weather front passes, they're right back into their normal pattern. Predators, it might put them on a 3, 4, or 5 day cycle where they just kind of loop around to different areas and then they're back into that area. But hunting pressure, it could just only bump them out for a little while and they come back in. But if they continue to get pressured and keep getting bumped out of that bedding area, they're just going to move to a whole new bedding area where they're going to find solitude. So each one kind of affects it a little differently. So, all right, bugle me this. I've used one. You can't imitate the lack of oxygen physiology professor tested them. Okay, that's good to know. So, Jerry, thanks for another great Wapiti Wednesday. You are very welcome, my friend. Coming from lower elevations, you can only train hard and just acclimate as the days go on when at altitude. Here's one other thing I'm going to recommend to you guys too that go from lower elevations to higher elevations. Wilderness Athlete actually has a product that's called Altitude Advantage. It actually helps your body process oxygen and bring in oxygen a lot better. So for you guys that are at lower elevations that are going to higher elevations, I strongly recommend that you check out that Wilderness Athlete Altitude Advantage and start taking it a couple of days before you go. So it will eliminate the chances of altitude sickness. That I don't know if any of you have ever dealt with altitude sickness. It's just, pounding headache. Your body's adjusting to the lighter air pressure. There's a lot of things going on, but this Altitude Advantage from Wilderness Athlete definitely will help you adjust a lot faster to that. So, okay. In your opinion, do you have better luck calling bulls in during the peak rut or the first of the rut when bulls haven't already divided up the cows? Jeremy, I've killed bulls all throughout the month. I really don't know if I have a favorite time of the year. I mean, it just really, I think it varies from year to year. Sometimes it's during the peak rut. Sometimes it's during the pre-rut. It just really, really varies. So I kind of take the same approach all throughout the year. And biggest thing is just maximize those encounters with the bulls that I have. So yeah, I don't really have a favorite. So yeah, it got better as the hunt went on. Also noticed that I had to maintain a specific heart rate to continue the push. Yeah, I live at 8,000, so I don't need one, but I have friends that have used them. They seem to like them. Okay, if somebody kills an elk in an area, will the elk stay out of the area? Not necessarily. So, we've taken, a couple of elk a few days apart right there in the same area before. So, I mean, they're used to it. So, as long as there's, not a bunch of predators on that carcass, no, they're going to be right around there. So, or it might just kind of deviate them for a day or two. So, for the guys that don't have a gym or a lot of equipment at home, they can go to the local high school and run up and down bleachers. They can add weight as needed to challenge themselves. Yep. Jack, again, thanks for the knowledge. Got to cut this one short. Need to finish. Jack, you bet. So, all right, we are 52 minutes in. So we're going to open it up for one last round of questions. So get your questions in if you haven't answered them. Still don't have, videos edited for Friday yet. Sorry, guys. I'm still out. Still got tags in the pocket. So I'm still enjoying time out in nature and hunting a little bit. So, in fact, this weekend, wife and I going to go out hunting. This is one of those hunts that I look forward to the most is time with my wife out in the field and hunting. Plus, I just love watching her shoot because she can flat out get it done. So, Tim, awesome. Thanks. I got my elk in the same draw my buddy shot his 3 days later. Yep, exactly. So, okay. Okay, no questions are kind of popping in, so we might cut this one under the hour mark tonight, guys. So if you do think of some questions, feel free to message me with those. Always looking for more topics for Wapiti Wednesdays. So again, guys, appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Really, really appreciate the support. As always, keep calling, keep practicing, but most importantly, have fun. And we will see you guys next Wednesday on the next episode of Wapiti Wednesday Q&A. Oh, wait, guys. Wait. We'd had one sneak in. Okay, mid-November cow hunt, spot and stock. Do you stick to one area or truck travel and scout hunt? Be mobile, find tracks. And when you do find tracks, set up and do that cow routine. So, or mix in kind of some distressed lost calf too. Play on the maternal instincts of that cow, Larry. So, does she ever go with you archery? No, Jay, she doesn't. She does own a bow, so she just target shoots on it. So My wife actually has a condition that's called sarcoid, which actually affects her lungs. So hiking is pretty tough for her. But here's the cool thing about sarcoid. The number one way to treat sarcoid, protein. What's the best protein we can get out there? Wild game. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Always appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Wapiti Wednesday Q&A. Have a great weekend and a great week, guys. We'll see you later.